Modern Horizons 3 releases today. People are joking that it's Commander Masters. Let's go ahead and dissect what that means for the game and the formats, broadly speaking. So first of all, there's nothing unique in my description of that. A lot of people have been online saying, why is this a Modern Horizons sets where we're not really getting a lot of good modern reprints other than, say, the fetch lands. And a lot of these are just like commander cards that we're reprinting to put into modern for some reason. So in that sense, it's like, yeah, it's kind of Commander Masters, but kind of everything is Commander Masters, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. By nature of how Commander works, if you have a specific deck and a new set comes out and it has cards in that set that you want for your commander deck, cool. It's going to make you go out and buy those singles or open product to find the singles you want. That's been true for the entirety of the format. And for a long time, they had this healthy balance of designing good standard sets, good limited environments, trying to balance the other 60 card formats pretty properly. And then the upside was that Commander would get fun toys along the way. However, in more modern design for the last few years, they've heavily focused in on Commander specific stuff. It kind of feels like the standard sets and stuff even are just Commander sets, or there's, a bunch of new legendary creatures or cards that are very, very good in popular Commander archetypes, even though no one's going to try it in standard or per se. And even that I was kind of willing to overlook. I think that design philosophy is a leading cause in why standard is the way it is right now. It's a lot of these like really slow, grindy matchups. And I know not everyone loves that play pattern for standard, but I think it's pretty fun. So while I don't necessarily think it's best for the health of 60 card formats, it just kind of is what it is. And for the most part, it's been okay. But with Modern Horizons, I feel like it's a different animal. Mostly because paper standard at this point is kind of a joke. I don't necessarily like that. I enjoy standard, but most people who play standard are just playing it on Arena. They're not playing it in paper. But modern is like still a moderately popular and successful 60 card format. And we don't have like the modern like big reprint sets anymore, and these Modern Horizon sets were kind of supposed to be like the in-between. Here's a lot of reprints and here are some new designs to either boost up new archetypes or even introduce new archetypes to the format. And while I think Modern Horizons 1 and 2 for the most part did a pretty good job of that, I think Modern has been pretty fun the last couple of years. Modern Horizons 3, I'm like, what's happening? What is this? And I feel like this is like a farewell from Wizards to Modern. Maybe that's dramatic, and I hope it is, because I really do enjoy the format, but here's why I think that. So much of Modern Horizons 3 is just Commander reprints, right? And I'm not sure what deck is going to want these. The most interesting take I think I've heard is that like Phyrexian Tower might be good in the Yawgmoth combo decks. That's kind of cool. Or maybe some of the medallions coming to Modern might mean that Storm gets a resurgence, so that's an interesting take. But outside of that, like, who's gonna try Breya? Now, if a Breya combo deck or something pops off in Modern, that's kind of fun, that's kind of silly. Or like Kali the Vast, like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't see that breaking out into Modern, so why reprint it here other than to sell these really sweet, epic new arts to Commander players? And in principle, I'm not against that. I mean, really, the new arts in this set are beautiful. I really enjoy them, but it's not for Modern. We've kind of come to expect that every other year, we're going to get one of these Modern Horizon sets, and the Modern players are going to get a little bit of love. They're going to get a little bit of attention, because so much of that is going to Commander players nowadays, which is fine. I know that Wizards needs to sell packs, because if they don't make money, they don't make the game, and we don't have a game to play. And Commander is like the top dog right now. It's been the top dog for the last few years, so we need to make sure that if we want to sell the most packs possible, we need to make sure that the Commander players are at least interested. But to me, this set, more than any of the other Modern Horizon sets, feels like just disrespect to Modern players. Some people are going to just poo-poo this argument, but a little over a year ago, I released this video. It more or less just goes into my criticism of Wizards designing specifically for Commander, kind of ruining 60 card formats and the long-term damages that has on the game as a whole. At the time, it only got like 200 or 300 views, and it only had like 80% likes, and the general consensus was like, who cares, Commander's where it's at. But since then, it's gotten a lot more attention, it's gotten a lot more views the last couple months, and the overwhelming amount of comments are all saying, yeah, Commander has ruined Magic for me. Now, maybe that is the minority opinion. That probably is the minority opinion. But the problem is that there are still a lot of people who care about competitive play. There are a lot of people who still enjoy 60 card formats that are 1v1. And these Modern Horizon sets that come out every other year were kind of supposed to throw a bone to those players to keep them interested, even though so much of the attention is going to Commander players. And again, I don't necessarily care that some of these old Commander cards are coming to Modern. Like, if something cool can happen, it would be cool to see that happen. And then obviously, like I said earlier, that like just by accident, every set will have some cards that Commander players are going to be interested in, at least some of them for some of their decks. But I just feel like this dropped the ball. And I'm not sure what the future of Horizon sets is supposed to be, because going forward, Wizards is going to be doing these big Universes Beyond sets over the summer. Now, these are supposed to be Modern legal, so maybe that's going to kind of fill a little bit of a gap for the health of Modern and legality and changes in the meta game and stuff like that. These new Universes Beyond sets that are going to be coming, but that's going to take up such a big chunk that, like, does that mean Modern Horizons is done? I don't know. At least for the next several years, it looks like there's not really an opening for them to make another Modern Horizons set. It looks like we're just going to be worrying about these big Universes Beyond set, like what Lord of the Rings was last year. So obviously I love Commander. I have, edited 35 coming up soon, Commander gameplay for this channel. It takes up a ton of my time. My full-time job is I edit Commander Clash for MTG Goldfish. I love Commander, okay? I don't want people to be leaving comments like, oh, you don't understand Commander. I love Commander, but I also love 60-card formats. I love Modern. I've been getting into Pioneer, Standard most of the time. Really enjoy that too. I just want to itch that little bit of competitiveness that I don't get fulfilled in Commander. And people also have said when I say things like that I should try CEDH, and I have, and I don't like it. There's a lot of reasons I don't like CEDH, but that's probably a video for another time. The boring answer that I can leave for now is just that the part of my brain that uses multiplayer knowledge for Magic is not the same kind of approach I use when I'm trying to be competitive and cutthroat that I am in a 60-card 1v1 format. And I know I'm not alone in this. I think my overall point of this video is to say that there's a lot of us, and we're kind of in trouble. To kind of hit a couple of the main points in that video I mentioned earlier, the 60-card formats kind of have defined Magic for most of the existence of the game. Standard has always been a fundamental part of the game. Limited has always been fairly well supported. At times, Modern is just this big deal. And Pioneer, you know what? It's a newer format, but it's a ton of fun, and it's becoming quite popular. There are a lot of people who are not fulfilled by Commander, even if they like Commander. I love Commander, but if that was the only way to play Magic, I don't know how much time I would spend playing Magic. Part of what makes Magic such an amazing game is the diversity that exists. Obviously, I mean that in metagame and deck design and commanders that you can build around, and obviously the different colors have different strengths and weaknesses, so obviously there's that, but there's also diversity in the way that you can play those things. If you're going to build a burn deck in Commander, it's not going to look like the same thing as it does in Modern or in Standard. These formats change differently over time. When Bloomburrow comes out, that's going to have a very big impact on Standard, but it's probably not going to have that big of an impact on Modern, and you can kind of take the pros and cons of those changes with the different formats. So if Commander is going to be the top dog right now, that's fine. If a lot of people are enjoying Commander and that's what's selling packs, that's fine. But I think for the longevity of the game, it is very wrong to kind of hijack the once every other year set that's specifically for one of your most successful formats and then shift it to pay more attention to a different format. And one of the biggest reasons I said in the last video that I did like this was that when you get tired of a format, you can try a different one. I sometimes get tired of Standard, so I'll play something else. I sometimes get tired of Commander, so I'll play something else. But if people are only familiar with Commander, what are they going to do? Are they just going to take a long break from the game? Are they going to quit altogether? This design for Commander philosophy has made it, I think, more difficult for people to venture out and try other formats. Kudos to Wizards for the last year or so, trying to re-incentivize people to play competitive paper events. Like, I like some of the changes that they're making, but then they do things like they've done with Modern Horizons 3. So I don't know, maybe I'm off base, maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, so you guys can let me know in the comments. Overall, some of these new cards that are, reprints from Commander stuff coming to Modern, some of that is potentially cool. Some of that is stuff that we could try brewing around and making cool new decks, or upgrading decks that already exist in Modern. But as someone who really cares about the health of 60-card formats because of the ecosystem of Magic the Gathering as a whole, it does raise a lot of concerns for me. So if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know why. That would be the more interesting comments to read. And again, don't take this as I don't like Commander. I love Commander. Me part of being the problem. We do have a Commander gameplay video coming out soon where we're playing new legendary creatures from Modern Horizons 3. So yeah, we're just fueling the fire, making things worse, I guess, maybe. But let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.